To begin our flower painting, we're going to first turn our paper vertical. So make sure it's nice and tall. This would be horizontal, and we don't want to turn it that way. Make sure it's nice and tall. And we're actually going to write our name on our paper first using a pencil, first and last name, and then we're going to flip it over. If we try to write our name on the back when we're done painting, all the wet paint might drip, and so we want to write our name first, okay? And we're going to be using a paint marker today. This is a tube of black paint, and I'm going to show you an easy way to use this to kind of do a drawing technique, but it's going to look like paint. To practice it, because you need to know how to use these first, you're going to shake it up just a little bit, unscrew the cap, put your cap somewhere near your paper, and then way on the other side of your paper, away from it on your newspaper, you're gonna just make a practice circle. We're not squeezing it or pressing it down really hard. We're just drawing gently. And when you draw gently, the paint comes out. Let's practice another circle. Not pressing down, mashing down hard, or squeezing. This little felt tip is where the paint comes out, and you don't need to press it down or squeeze it. The paint comes out when you do a gentle touch like drawing. Now let's practice coloring in, because we might be doing some coloring in today. Just move your marker back and forth just like you would color in a regular piece of paper. All right, now we're going to start drawing. Remember, paper is vertical, and you're going to find the middle of your paper, but we're going to go up a little bit because the middle and the bottom need to be kind of where our vase begins, and then it'll stretch down to the bottom. So we want to find the middle and then go up a little bit. And we've been doing some practice drawings on some dry erase boards, and so if you're ready, you're just going to go for it. If you're not ready, you can practice a few more on your dry erase board, but you also are going to need some idea sheets that we used last time to do your drawing today, so that we make sure that we include everything that we need to include to make it look like Heather Galler work of art. Okay, we're holding our marker like a pencil, and then when we're ready, we're just turning it upside down so that the fuzzy part touches our paper. All right, here's the middle. I'm going up a little bit, and I'm starting with a circle. And then the small circles some of them have designs in the middle. Okay, and then we have a bigger shape around. Remember, it can be curvy or it can be a regular circle. And then the third shape, I'm gonna draw some flower petals. I'm repeating my flower petals, but they don't all look exactly the same because it's a flower. I want you to know that when we create patterns of things in nature like a flower, it's called an irregular pattern because not all the petals are exactly the same shape or same size. So that's an irregular pattern. Okay, I'm going to move over a little bit. I don't have to move over far. Don't worry if you don't have room, because remember, we're going to be doing some overlapping. So not all of our shapes are going to be separate. They're going to be touching a little bit. This time I saw my idea sheet, a curvy line around, and then I'll do a regular circle, and then I just bump into my other flower, and that's fine because I am creating overlapping or depth to make it look like a really full vase. That's the way flowers look in a real vase. They're all squished together, bunched together. They're not all separate and spread out. Okay, I saw another design on my idea sheet. And I'm getting kind of close to the bottom, but that's okay. I'll still have room for a vase, but I want to do more kind of higher up. There we go. And there's my third shape, and this time I'm going to put some little dots. To make dots, you can just press gently down with your marker. If your marker is not making the ink very dark, you just need to press it again. You don't need to press harder or squeeze it. That's not how it works. Okay, let me do one right here. And I saw my idea sheets. Again, I'm using the idea sheets. The center looks like that. Looks like it has some bubbles in the center, kind of a bubbly texture. Okay, and then another wavy line. If it goes off the page or bumps into another flower, that is perfect because it's creating variety and it's creating depth. It's making it look 3D. I'm using overlapping. Don't forget a few leaves if you want, especially in those empty spaces around your flowers where it just looks like it needs a little shape. It looks kind of empty. Okay, I think I have room for another one to start up here. This time I make a crisscross in the center. If you make a mistake with these permanent markers, it's okay. It'll be a beautiful oops. And just think about flowers in a vase. They're all bunched up together. It's okay if you made a mistake. It can just be flowers bunching up really a lot, or some of your petals fell off. You can just think about that as a beautiful oops. Okay, I started with a spiral. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a leaf here, and then the rest of my flower going around the leaf. So now my leaf is overlapping everything. I love it. I'm gonna add another little curvy leaf with some veins right here. Make sure you keep your paper flat the whole time. You don't want to lift it up. I'm gonna move mine up, but it's still flat because I don't want this ink to drip down. It dries pretty quick, but at first it needs to lay flat for a while until it dries. If you accidentally made like a little puddle where your paint marker was a little happy, or you made like too much ink came out, just let it dry. It will dry if you keep it flat, okay? Now I'm gonna draw a vase. So remember, vases can be just straight, they can be diagonal, they can be curvy. I think I'm gonna go with a diagonal one. I'm kind of making a line with my finger where I want it to stop, like that. Okay, there's the bottom of my vase, and I'm gonna draw the other side. This side is higher because I have some flowers overlapping. Wow, that looks great. Now I'm gonna put designs on the vase. It can be something really simple, like just some lines. Okay, and then the horizon line, because right now my vase of flowers is floating in the air. I don't want that. I want to make it look like it's standing on a table. So I draw a horizontal line on the left side, hover or hold my ink marker over the paper and kind of imagine it going across and continuing all the way to the edge. Make sure it goes all the way to the edge. And then my table can have designs too, okay? Now, also, Heather Galler loves to take some of her pieces of her artwork and she likes to add black and white in one area. So we are going to add color to these, but right now I'm going to add a little bit of black and white to give it some contrast. Contrast is when a work of art has opposites. So opposite of black would be white. So I'm going to create some contrast, just a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy and black out the whole thing. Opposites, light and dark, or black and white, are examples of contrast. So I colored in just a few of these squares on my table, or instead I could have colored in maybe some of my shapes in my vase to make it black and white, black and white. Why don't you choose one area if you want? I wouldn't do both. I would save the vase for some watercolor and some oil pastels next time, or the table for watercolor and oil pastels. I don't want to black out a lot of the paper. I just want a little bit of contrast. And you can also go in and create some light and dark areas or black and white areas inside your flower, like coloring in a little bit of the pollen, coloring in a few of the shapes. Not gonna go crazy, but just a few little areas of contrast. That looks really good. I'm gonna do another one super fast just so you can have another example. And oh, I cannot wait to see these beautiful black and white Heather Galler still lives of flowers in a vase.